You are an author.
Yes.
You have written a number of chapters in books. You've presided over the writing of books. You have brought us some books. I'm not going to let you go before we share books with our book-loving audience. This is perhaps one of the most watched part of the show.
Okay.
So what books do you have to share with us? At least 3 books.
3 books, right? Yeah. So I have the book by Malcolm Gladwell, Talking to Strangers. Malcolm Gladwell is one of my favorite authors.
I read this book. Fascinating.
Fascinating, right?
Fascinating, yeah.
So it's about, for me, I have to deal with many things. How do I talk to somebody when they're looking for a job? How do I trust them? How do I talk to somebody when he's selling or she's selling me something? How do I relate with a politician when they're talking? So there are many things that Malcolm Gladwell raises to say, how do we develop that art of listening and observing? And it speaks to many things that we take for granted. We miss out on opportunities of how you craft a conversation with a stranger at a location. But for me, the insights, the takeaways was to understand. I think it's one of his most political work.
It is.
Because he's not talking about the misunderstandings that happen in policing in the United States by just trying to understand somebody who looks like me in the United States wearing a hoodie.
Is
the
profiled.
stereotype that is developed. So for me, I began to say, how do we make sure that even law enforcers, etc., understand us in different places and in our context?
Then
this one is called by Peter Levine, Professor Peter Levine.
I love that. A theory of civic life.
Yeah, what should we do? So what should we do, a theory of civic life, is it takes us away from what Lenin posed as what must be done. Because at that moment, it was about thinking about what governments should do for us. But what Peter Levine is doing for us, he's saying to us, we need to be thinking about what we should do concerning public problems together. He implicates all of us in the public problems and brings in traditions of nonviolence, of deliberation, and also just collective action. Tolerance, to begin to say, there's a mandate for us to engage in collective action, to deliberate around issues, but to be tolerant of diverse perspectives. But bringing back the public problems back to us, not to say we just give them to somebody else to fix. And finally, Trevor, this is a book that I'm a fan of Malcolm Gladwell, but this is different by David Epstein, Range. Range challenges the 10,000-hour rule that was promoted by Malcolm. In Range, he is saying that pick many skills, different skills. And he uses the example of Roger Federer to say when Roger Federer, the great tennis icon, when he was a youngster, he actually played football and did other things before he played tennis. Then he played tennis. See, it's actually, even in music, many people who go on to specialize in music, it's not people who've gone through the college of music, but are people who have touched many things. So they bring all those experiences to what they do. So you can do that in leadership. So when I look at somebody like you were not trained as a journalist from my knowledge, but you've combined your training from economics and other things that you have done. Now you've come to have this show. So that's Range, picking things from all over and making sure that you develop this beautiful alchemy that can become something. So I like to use that a lot, because even if you look at Sivio Institute, we touch on many issues.
You do.
Because we refuse to be a silver bullet focused organization to say, if we fix this, we have fixed a continent. We appreciate the multiplicity of challenges that the continent faces.
And that's what humanity is, isn't it?